Welcome back to Light Crusader. So let's continue. Okay, so now that we have the Wizard's Crest, hopefully we should be able to do something. In fact,
we had seen, but we did not have enough money, so I think that's what's about to trade.
Yes, that's what I did in between parts. Okay, so...
I guess this is one of the good sorcerers?
Well, you have to be tricky because outside of Pendant, he sells also sorts of potions, including the damage ones.
Yes,
Okay,
green
so
potion.
I guess at least now it makes sense.
I need more GP.
I don't know what the green potion does, and quite honestly, I don't care. Moving
We
on.
have checked, so again, I chalked it up to what we mentioned.
Sure. There's the thing too. Usually, I just don't bother with these because the first time as a kid, when I tried getting these, they
just eat food.
Yeah, so the Wizard Crest basically somehow gives us some kind of recognition among wizards. So potentially, maybe if we show it to those two wizards from that closed door, who knows? Yeah, black potion. Yeah, this is quite expensive. It's probably too much for you, he says. Also, he has free blocks behind the counter.
I guess it's the game devs wanting to simulate the idea that that's the kind of stash that he has, or that's where he collects the money or something. Again, something simple to represent something specific about the room.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can move those blocks too.
You
Remember,
can.
you can move also the NPCs if you want.
Yeah, you can basically move most of anything that's not stacked to the ground, basically.
Nothing stands in the way of David Longhair.
Yeah, basically.
You know, I wonder if they ever gave this series a reboot or something, would they attribute this to him just being that strong,
Built
essentially?
differently. I don't know. Well, to be fair, Jova, as showcased by even game, mostly also with character customization, but modern RPGs can let you have the character with the build that you want to have and still have the level of strength.
Alright, so if you have the Wizard's Crest, you can talk to them and they'll say, please proceed. However...
And they won't attack us.
Oh, yeah, right here. But you have to talk to this specific one for some reason. But whatever, moving on.
He's the head wizard of the room, and ice physics.
Great.
With a light show to boot.
Remember, the red lasers hurt you, so yeah, try to dodge that shit.
Woo?
Alright, moving on. What else?
Beat them.
Beat them.
I'll beat them later. Alright, so this puzzle works like this. The platform always moves opposite to where you move. So try your best to plan ahead something so you can jump on the platform and then jump into that bag of money.
Like I said, there doesn't seem to be any room completely identical to the others. There's always something to catch you off guard, and this is actually pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
I know, right?
You can tell that the developers genuinely put a lot of effort into this. Alright, moving on.
Puzzle platforming at its finest.
But who's them?
And yet, this wizard created 4 clones of myself. Alright, so this is the mid-90s, so you know what that means. We have to start a long-running comic book series to try to figure out which... bad. And I thought we could have a long-running comic book series. Oh, this episode. Okay, every time you go for one of those statues, your controls are inverted towards that direction that the statues are pointing. That's the basic gist of it. But I wanted a long-running comic book series that goes on for a shit ton of issues, trying to figure out who's the clone and who's the original.
Sorry, Pedro, cannot have that.
Oh well.
Doesn't work for everyone.
I guess not. Yeah, don't bother killing the clones, just kill the wizard.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, basically. Don't bother killing the clones, just go straight for the wizard, because as you just saw, when you kill the wizard, all the clones just melt into a pile of goo.
Like any good clones?
Yes. I think I'm a clone now. And look at that, we found that guy's wife. Thank you very much.
Thank you for releasing me.
Now I can go back to my daughter.
What about your husband?
Yeah.
That's the thing too. If we go back now, they'll be there in the house with the daughter, both of them. So
Why a lot of fictional media love to have the idea of clones being made by basically silly putty that at the minimal moment of deficiency transforms them into a pile of slime. It's not even a thing that Spider-Man did. A lot of medias that have clones involved in that does that, and I don't understand why.
I suppose it's to show that they're made of clone material.
Yeah. To this day, I have yet to find out what that sign is about.
It has arrows and everything that point.
Maybe it has something to do with the enemy there in the room.
I've tried killing the enemy. It doesn't seem to do anything. But like I said, the good thing about this game is that if I can figure something out, I'll just move on to something else. And yeah, time to answer another riddle. Well, Teo, I will argue that, okay, you were talking about the whole no rooms are equal. I will argue that this game reuses this particular type of puzzle a bit too much.
True, but not always, if I recall correctly, sure, it's still Simon Says, but no solution is identical to the other, so...
Well, it's Simon Says, Teo. Usually these kinds of things are randomly generated in a video game, so it's not like it takes that much work. I mean, these particular puzzles, okay. Fortunately, the ones that are obligatory, these can be relatively short. Like, it's mostly that one with that piece of equipment we did last part that actually can go on for quite a long time. This one is relatively reasonable, at least.
No, I can't seem to find any particular, even forum posts about that signpost, unfortunately. Like we mentioned, despite the fact that there seemed to be some sort of active community because someone actually bothered to make a transcript of the
hold on, Teo.
maps. Hello.
Unfortunately, during the execution of our plan, we discovered there is a traitor in our midst.
Oh, so you have an imposter among you?
Those who go against the will of Lord Roke and stand in our way should fully understand what will happen to them.
What a story, wizard.
Are we sure it's not Agent 47 disguised?
And we shall make an example of the king's pawn.
It does a bit look like him. Oh shit.
What this translates out to...
By that they mean attack me.
Well, I get the feeling that the translation of that particular dialogue was completely borched, honestly, because what the guy just said made no sense whatsoever.
Thank you for the important thing, David.
My guess is that story-wise, the idea is that David leaps in to protect the man, which translates to them attacking us.
What's with the music?
There, we saved him. Alright. Thank you, just as I thought, my belief in Ramiah was wrong. Oh, so you were a Ramiah believer then?
Well, remember, they said he's a traitor.
I think, yeah, this was the traitor.
Oh, okay. The guild is planning something... Okay, never mind then. The guild is planning something outrageous. I got scared and tried to bring their plan to the attention.
This guy looks like a digitized version of Dr. Cox.
Of the king. They're trying to revitalize Ramiah, that most evil demon.
Most evil, not really evil, most evil.
Most evil.
Who is sealed beneath the shrine.
There's a difference between pure evil and most evil.
Okay. Thank you. Alright, in the meantime, I actually... finish what you were trying to say, Joa, because I actually have something to bring up about this game. Go on.
Oh, scorpion.
Giant scorpion.
But I have to get something. Go on.
I do get the feeling that the idea with that scene was like, well, they're about to kill the guy, but then David steps in to stop him. Hence why that's them talking there.
Yeah, I think that's what makes more sense.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, though, their boss was there, but he didn't say anything. He just teleported out.
What a scorpion.
Yep, basically.
Maybe it's just about of David getting stronger.
Alright, let me... Okay, so basically everybody, the lore that the princess told us about... Yeah, look at that key 4, now we can open some of those other doors. The lore that the princess told us about, believe it or not everybody, is slightly different in the European version that I grew up with. So I will now proceed to read what the princess said in the European version, because she does this, while it still goes on to the exact same thing, there are some interesting different phrasing. So this is what the princess says in the European version. A darkness is in the heart of man which summons evil demons. Now, let me remind you what they say in the American version. In the American version, they talk about how the door to darkness allows you to free the demon. In here, she said, in the European version, she says, a darkness is in the heart of man which summons evil demons. So the heart of man summons evil demons. Okay. Gotcha.
Again, how is it possible that both versions have a phrase that pretty much fits to a T Kingdom Hearts modus operandi?
Amazing, isn't it?
It's like
maybe Nomura was inspired partly by like
Sure.
Crusader.
it's like
Or maybe it's just that generic.
it's just that's a thing, Jova. Like Teo just said, you can literally compare this to any other mythology in Japanese RPGs because this thing is the most generic thing you can think of.
Probably sacrilegious, but I think the premise intro from Faith and Seraph has more creativity than this.
And that's sad.
I mean, okay, to give Fairy Fence Ref credit, it was creative. Doesn't necessarily mean it was the good kind of creative, but you
it's
know,
the green
it was
kind of creative.
I mean, okay.
I will say that.
To be fair, the only major difference there was the fact that it had a vile god and the goddess. Aside from that, aside from that difference, it had pretty much the same shtick of the darkness and the light and the blah blah blah.
The whole darkness is born in the heart of man, or something.
I guess.
Thank you. I am interested to see where Refrain takes things, since that apparently is adding a
We have
bit
to
of
be
a.
patient. It still
Oh,
hasn't
here you
come
go.
out yet.
So, unlike the previous version, this version is works kind of like that puzzle in to enter the final egg in Sonic Adventure 1. By pressing one space, the free adjacent spots will also change. So this one is not as simple as the other. So you have to actually think about this one. So as you can see, that previous version of that puzzle was just to introduce you to the concept, basically. Anyway, after that, the princess says, one of these evil demons tried to transform the land into hell and bring, she said the H word, like, land into hell and bring death to everything around. Okay, so basically the devil wanted to destroy everything because he's a dick. Okay, gotcha. Alright, next up, she says, yeah. However, there appeared the brave King Garrett. Okay, so this is about what she talks about, how the King Garrett sealed the evil demon with the power of 8. Oh, yeah. In the original, in the European version, she says with the power of 8 wizards, he sealed the evil demon. So they don't mention the sword, unlike what they do in the American version. It's interesting that for some reason, I guess the European, Sega of Europe, for some reason, reworked the translation.
There we go.
Anyway.
Again, the fact that we don't really know what the original script was to make it which what we do is more complete.
Trial by fire. And by trial by fire, they mean survive. And by trial by fire, they literally mean survive all this on start of fire.
Wow.
Well, the game didn't lie. To be fair, this.
We did warn you.
Just David ingesting food. It's like that moment in the first Metal Gear where Snake has to go across an electrified field and he has to eat rations to not die while being electrified.
I think you're talking about. I think you're talking about him using chocolate to neutralize the acid in Metal Gear 2, I think.
No. You even showcase the fact, Pedro. There's a room where you're basically stuck on the electric floor, and you have to wing it to the other side, so you have to eat rations midway through. So it creates this image of Snake having to eat nervously whilst traversing this electrified field.
Exactly. It boils down to this. Okay, in the meantime, yeah, the rest of the lore that the princess has in the European version is basically the same thing. In the event of, it also says here, in the event of an emergency, Light Crusader, which defeated the evil demon, is concealed within this labyrinth. So
it doesn't even explain the fact that the Light Crusader is a weapon. It just says the term Light Crusader, which, for all we know, could be a person instead.
Yeah.
I guess that's one point in this game's Dubs version.
Like, again, like
for all we know, David could have been the Light Crusader.
Yeah, originally I thought the Light Crusader referred to, David himself, because, Paladin doing for great justice and everything, and, rampaging through these catacombs and everything, kind of would make sense, but no.
Given that both versions apparently call the weapon the Light Crusader, we can come to the conclusion that it's the sword that's supposed to be
I know that the
called
games at the time had this love and tendency to not wanting to name themselves after the protagonist, but instead like a side character or an element to it, or even the antagonist sometimes, like Diablo. But still, this feels very weird. It's like if they called the Final Fantasy series Ultimate Weapon, like.
Aside from that, the princess ends her spiel with the whole, what would happen if the evil demon were to be... This particular question has always stuck out to me, even as a kid. Like, what would happen if the evil demon were to be awakened? I wonder. Hey, Dwiz, what do you think will happen if Sephiroth's meteor hits the Earth? What do you think will happen? Like, I'm wondering.
You know what? I think Justice League War was not enough preparing. We should have Darkseid invade Earth again and see what happens.
I was going to answer Pedro's question to you. Either the world will blow up, or Sephiroth will get to do a lovely dance as the meteor hits the Earth. I don't know what will blow up.
Yeah, the chicken dance.
Welcome, courageous one.
Who are you?
You'll see. You are here after overcoming many difficulties.
You're here.
But I wish to put you to the test once more.
You the Light Crusader?
Yes, to see if you are worthy of wielding Light Crusader.
Are you a bad enough dude?
So yeah, this is the supposedly personification of the Light Crusader sword, and you have to defeat it in order to get Light Crusader, which is the most powerful sword in the game.
I like to imagine that it's the sword itself talking and it's just controlling
potentially,
and
the build is a similar to Agni and Rudra in Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah, and you'll notice that the other door is locked, which means in order to progress through the game, I have to defeat this boss. So, like I said, the most powerful sword in the game is obligatory. This boss is annoying as fuck. As you guys can see, the hit detection for this, you're supposed to hit him from behind. Problem is, the hit detection on where you can hit him is very flimsy.
I'm questioning this test of valor if in order to win you have to backstab the dude.
Yeah.
I wonder if the idea is that you have to fight smart and whatnot, but yeah, it does kind of clash with the typical idea of a brave knight. Maybe that's the game's way of trying to be subversive?
No, not really.
The idea is that he stabs his sword or he throws his fists sometimes, and those are basically his only attacks.
Alright, time out, gotta eat something.
Yep.
It's gonna kill you!
It's gonna kill you!
Getting killed by the very sword that's supposed to save the day.
And there you go, everybody. Oranges will heal 60 health points. So there you go, kids. That's your moral. Heat your oranges.
You'll get
especially if you're dying.
What's the most?
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, seriously. Like, I'm trying my best to hit him, but...
the detection can be one.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what does the game actually consider behind this guy?
Move! Thank you. Like, just...
Wait, that work, it was from the side. What the heck?
I have no fucking clue, Jova. Like, and before you ask, magic doesn't even work on him. So you have...
Let me check what game access says about this guy.
I remember magic not working on him, at least.
I love his hit scream.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, you are so annoying. Like... Yeah. Whoa, whoa. Stand still. Like. Jesus Christ.
Well, I guess maybe the sword has a sense of humor in that regard.
I mean, he's fighting you.
It's gonna kill you.
There you go, invincible armor boss. Blah blah blah. Every attack you attempt on the armor will be in vain. You cannot damage the armor in any way. Not with your sword, not with jump attacks, and not with magic. So how do you kill it? You don't. Weren't you listening? The armor has several attacks, but it all comes down to one thing. He cuts you with his sword. Either the gloves or the sword will show out with you. If it's the sword, he's trying to stab you. If it's the gloves, he's trying to grab you fully over to him. If you're very careful, search the ground around the area of the armor. You may notice that there is a shadow following the armor around. There is some type of invisible person controlling the armor.
Oh.
Strike at this shadow there on the floor and it will harm whoever is controlling the armor.
Obviously.
Oh.
Like, obviously.
So that's
Like a puppet.
why.
See, the thing is, because of the way the floor is designed with its colors, most of the time I don't even notice that shadow. Like, I feel like the game could have conveyed that in some kind of way. Anyway, you earn like Crusader's power, blah blah blah. You must gain 8 wizards' power to vanquish Ramiah because we have Zelda at home. Moving on.
So let's pick up the sword. Then.
Also to correct, no, you automatically get right here. There you go. So no reason to put any other
Crusader.
no reason and there is no reason to equip any other sword from this point on. It's the it's the most powerful sword. So the game just trivialized its last 2 swords. Yeah, you can tell.
Maybe those other 2 swords have abilities that
Nope.
Crusader
You
doesn't.
might
They're not as powerful.
I found it funny, Pedro, that what you just mentioned, the fact that you weren't able to see much of a shadow, seems to be a fact that is shared by many, because even the person who wrote to the guide on GameFAQs says, the first time I played this game, it took me a long time to figure out because I was playing during the afternoon. There was a huge sun there on the screen.
There you go. Alright, so this is my favorite floor of the game. Because I don't know if Dwibs and Tail remember, but this is the floor where the game gets weird. Basically, Jova.
It's already been.
Yes, basically, Jova. Here's my theory before I reveal it to you. My theory is that by this point in the actually, go ahead, Dwibs.
Seek the princess. She can read ancient script.
Again, man,
there you go.
Again, man, you are useless.
Well,
Hey, I
no.
told you where to go.
Yeah, like, I mean, he literally did his job as Oracle. He gave us the answer that we need.
But I already did that, though.
Maybe we need to talk to her again.
Ragnarok! He was once the best wizard in the land. That's the name of the villain. He was once the best wizard in the land.
Ragnarok.
Don't you get it?
But he became obsessed with black magic, and there's a detail. It's a pun on Ragnarok.
Wait.
I know.
You mean a guy named Ragnarok turned out to be obsessed with the destructive force?
Yeah, basically, you'll notice that the king just said, but one day he became obsessed with, well, it's nothing. So that's the game's way of keeping you, quote-unquote, on suspense, because later on we're going to reveal what's Ragnarok's motivation. Yeah, the press is still stupid.
We already spoiled a few parts ago anyway.
Anyway, Java, here's my theory. At this point in the development process, the developers got bored of the medieval setting, and they decided to try to come up with an excuse to put David in somewhere else. There you go, see?
What, are they gonna put him in Cincinnati?
There you go, see?
Me and Daddy are back!
Now we can live together as a family.
Just like David Toretto will want.
Maybe we should go on a holiday. Yeah. Good luck with that.
We just came back from being kidnapped, so let's go on vacation.
Anyway,
spending quality time.
Everyone's coming back. Anyway, since I used a lot of stakes in that boss battle, back to the town so we can buy some more. Come to think of it, I haven't seen Cullen recently. Fuck Cullen. He was fuck Cullen. He was an asshole anyway. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, because basically, Jova, let's just say the game is about to get really weird because, again, we're going to travel between various different dimensions right now, which, yeah, it's kind of weird.
Why do it's not on the level of the Incredible Hulk, Genesis Mega Drive, where all of a sudden he gets transported into an intestine, but you'll see.
Yeah, we already read this. Like I said, my theory has always been that the developers got to a point where they really were tired of the medieval setting and they wanted to do something different. So fuck it, let's have an interdimensional jewel that sends David to various points in various times. It's like the fucking Door of Destiny in the King's Quest II remake or something. Like it's just like,
That was mostly for having cameos more than anything.
Well, yeah, but this one definitely feels like the developers got bored of their setting. It's a puzzle to me.
I will mention specifically when we get to it, but I get the idea it might have been inspired by a couple of movies from the 70s and 80s.
In spite of the obviously different sound hardware that they had, a couple of tracks here remind me of the tracks in Final Fantasy Mystic Quest / Mystic Quest Legend.
I forgot, who was the composer for that one?
Mystic Quest Legend, yeah. Yeah, I always call games by their European names because...
well, I still don't remember who was the composer of that.
Yes, Mystic Quest Legends. They had two composers, actually. Ryuji Sasai and Yasuhiro Kawakami.
I don't remember. On the spot, I can't remember what else we did.
Sasai did music for games like Mysterious Cities, an anime called The Mysterious Cities of Gold, Adventures of the Little Koala. His most recent thing was in 1998 called Bushido Blade 2.
Oh, okay.
Bushido Blade was an attempt of Squaresoft to make a Soul Calibur clone. It wasn't great.
And that's for Yasuhiro Kawakami. He's done stuff like Shinobi and Tetris, the arcade versions of them. His most recent work was in 2007 for being a quote A&R director for Crisis Core.
Huh.
Interesting.
Small correction from what I said earlier. It's actually not the oranges that heal 60 points of life. It's the tomato. So there you go, kids. So yeah, don't. Never mind oranges, kids. Tomatoes are better for you, I guess.
I mean, it still contains vitamin C, some fashion. So
I guess. All right, so we have some red potions, some steak. 2 pieces of cheese, which heal your status effects somehow. Don't ask me why. We also have wine, which once again also heals your poison. So I think we should be good for now. Actually, I forgot what was my thought process. Yeah, it's just gonna get it. Yeah, as you can see in the wizard shop, the red potions are cheaper than on the town. So
I guess it's as we say in my country, prepared at the 0 of a kilometer. So
yep. Basically. Alright, let's go back to basement 5. Alright, so here we go. Let's actually do one of the dimensions and see exactly what I was talking about up until this point. But first, we also have the fountain here in case you need to heal your health, which I just did. And on the other side, you have the save point, obviously. Enter the realms of your mind's chaos. What?
Whatever that means.
I've prepared 8 worlds for you, and no, you will not know who's talking to you right now. Wander throughout eternity.
I thought it would be the main villain. I forgot if it's him or not.
No, I don't think it is too. That wouldn't even make any sense. Why would the villain help David?
Honestly, that narration. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that narration sounds more like it's trying to discourage him from going in.
Okay, so let's go into that crystal, shall we, guys?
What could possibly go wrong?
And now we're in police quests. Like,
oh, what?
Yeah, basically.
We're in the future.
Answer the riddle. And by answer, I mean repeat the yeah. Basically, what this means is touch the last light that got turned on during the beat them.
Oh snap! We're in Resident Evil. There's zombies in the city.
Yes.
How did we end up here?
Remember, Dwebs, he just said these are different realms. This crystal takes us to different realms. Like I said, like I said, I really get the feeling the developers got bored of the medieval setting, so fuck it. Here's an excuse to put David in the city.
Although remember,
I would like to remind that these are the same people who did the Gunstar Heroes, who also gets a bit creative with setting and bosses.
Yeah.
Although, remember what the voice said. These are apparently 8 worlds based off of the darkest realm of David's mind.
So is this what our protagonist thinks?
Wait, I wonder, does this mean that Light Crusader was an isekai all along and
Reverse
David actually is a reincarnation?
Yes, this is
again, it was a standard common thing in movies from the 80s, like The Beastmaster or even The He-Man and Masters of the Universe. I really don't understand what was this trend of sending characters in fantasy world to the real world to see how wacky shenanigans await them.
No. I wonder, what if the twist is that David actually originated from the real world, and these worlds are from his memory of that?
The problem, Joe, is that I'm pretty confident you're putting a lot more thought into this story than the developers did.
I most definitely am, but I don't get too mad about it here because this is like an old Sega Genesis game. I can understand.
There you go, poisoned. There you go. I'm poisoned right now, and by poisoned, I mean my controls are reversed. Interesting way of conveying poison into gameplay. Anyway, the final boss is just a bunch of zombies, and when you've beat the zombies... Go ahead, Teo.
So, that really was Resident Evil. Oh, snap!
How are you now?
So it turns out he's...
That's weird. Our code in these 8 realms.
But I thought these 8 realms were born from David's mind.
Master or escape, our powers shall join. Hasten, sorry. They must defeat the bringer of darkness.
I will give him credit. This is actually a pretty creative way to change up the level structure because, you know, in that regard, consider this. We've had more or less the same looks of the rooms here and there, so this allows them to really mix things up. So, I'm fine with this. That being said, holy cow, the absolute insanity.
It is. Okay,
so what are we missing?
Actually, let me just double check. Like, do I want to go back to the village and maybe get something? Maybe not. I have 4 red potions, so I should be fine. Oh yeah. Basically, I got myself cheese to heal myself from the poison. Which, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If for whatever reason you're poisoned, eat some cheese. Alright, everybody. Tune in next time where we see what kind of wacky realms are in David's mind. See you then.
Okay, see ya.
Ta-ta.